Cortisol, that's where cortisol comes. The term cortisol comes from the cortex, right? And what's cortisol do? It produces stress. That would be a bad idea. I don't want that hormone. It's called the stress hormone, but it doesn't make stress. What does it do? Well, that's one of the things it does is wake you up. But why would you be woken up if you were stressed? That doesn't make any sense. You're already awake, right? You want to go to sleep if you're stressed. What does it actually do? Its primary function is an anti-inflammatory. It's an anti-inflammatory. You're producing an anti-inflammatory because if you're about to do physical stress, you're going to produce a bunch of inflammation. It is the thing that actually keeps the inflammation down. Cortisol, in a synthetic version, is called cortisone. So when you get a cortisone injection, you're getting that as an anti-inflammatory. And it's just a synthetic version of cortisol. Everybody calls cortisol a stress hormone because that's how we think of it. The problem, and this is where the modern society problem comes in, is our stress is more emotional than it is physical. And if you produce this big anti-inflammatory, one of the things it does is carbohydrate metabolism and things like that, that it changes carbohydrates into fats. If you're doing physical stress after that, it works out perfectly. But if it's all just emotional stress and you secrete cortisol, you end up storing it as fat. And so your brain doesn't know the difference between physical, it doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. It responds the same. So emotional stress and physical stress, it's going to have the same response. And so you're getting all this emotional stress, but no physical activity, so you end up getting fat. And that's where the cortisol comes in. But the cortisol is a good thing. Everyone's like, oh, that bad cortisol. No, cortisol is an anti-inflammatory. It's really good. It's a really good thing if you're doing something that's creating inflammation. But if you're not, it just ends up storing your carbohydrates as fats. That's what it ends up doing. So that's why it gets a bad rap.